Hello, and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Blondie's 1978 album, Parallel Lines. It's pretty good. Some clear improvements over their previous albums, but nothing huge overall, I would say. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 10 out of 12, so all of them but 2. This album's pretty good overall. It's got a good variety and a lot of interesting stuff, same as their other 2 albums. But with the exception of a few songs, there isn't anything here that's super amazing. Most of it is just good. This album flows pretty well, but it doesn't have enough great songs to really build into a really great flow. Side 1 isn't as good as Side 2. The back half flows a lot better and has a lot more experimentation, in my opinion. Side 1 has good songs, but also some more boring ones. They're too slow, and they don't really have much going on, in my opinion. The 2 opening tracks are pretty good, but then it gets into a slow section that doesn't really listen well. The final track of Side 1 pulls it together a bit, but it's not enough to fix it. Fade Away and Radiate's kind of interesting, but it's still pretty slow, and Picture This and Pretty Baby aren't very good, in my opinion. So, in contrast, Side 2 opens with some more mid-speed tracks, slowing down to the last 2 tracks of the album, which are a little bit faster. The Buddy Holly cover and Just Go Away are a little bit faster. But overall, I would say this album's pretty good, with a few tracks here and there that are really great. There were 2 singles released before the album, Picture This and I'm Gonna Love You Too, the Buddy Holly cover. Neither was particularly popular at the time, I think, but there were some big tracks out of this album. Heart of Glass is one of Blondie's most popular songs to this day, and I think One Way or Another was also popular at the time. My favorite song here, I gotta go with Heart of Glass. It's easily the best song in here, and it kind of blows the rest of the album out of the water, in my opinion. I mean, I also liked I Know But I Don't Know, track 6 and track 7, 1159, but Heart of Glass is just much better than both of those. I rank this album higher than their first 2 albums, mostly because this album kind of proved that Blondie could have a hit, even though most of the songs here are of a similar quality to their previous album. There are a few here, big ones, Heart of Glass, that are just really great. But as an album, Parallel Lines isn't a huge improvement over Plastic Letters. It's just small improvements that add up to a slightly better album, in my opinion. Now, this album doesn't take my top spot from 1978. That stays with Jazz by Queen, which is almost perfect in my opinion. It's really locked in for this year in terms of what I think is best. It would have to be a really good album, really like a perfect album to take it. So Parallel Lines could probably take it in a less contested year. This album's pretty good, and if there was less competition, I could see it taking my favorite, but not for 1978. Next up is Train's 2012 album, California 37. It's a pretty great album. It's one of their best, in my opinion, one of my favorites from them, so stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.